Alright, welcome back to part 2 of this 1650 video. The other one got kind of long, so I decided to split it into 2 pieces here. But here in a minute I'll let you see the footage of when I was working on the distributor. I ended up getting that plate tightened, and I also changed the timing on the tractor just a little bit. That made it run like a champ. The only thing left to do, I want to pull the sediment bowl out of the tank because I looked in it and it's got some rust in it. This actually has a metal sediment bowl like you would have found on a corn picker. But anyway, I'm going to do that, and then I will probably make him a new fuel line. I realize he probably did this so he could see what was happening, but to me, plastic filter is a no-go on something like this because it's right in the zone of a lot of heat, and that can cause a fire. So I'll probably make him a new fuel line that will work much better, and then we'll give it another test drive, and if it stays running, I'll call him and he can come get it. So here we go. Okay, let's take this plate off. I also feel like here, what have we got going on? I feel like untrapping these 2 wires so they're both the same, but I'm afraid that I'll probably end up disturbing something else now. See, that's not... Ooh, that reminds me, another thing that the Pertronics people say, when you use the igniter, you do not use solid core wires. You can only use the, I don't know what you call them now, the metallic core wire, the ones that are carbon core, that's what I'm trying to say. So, I don't really know what that does, if it puts too much voltage through or what exactly, but be aware of that. I also noticed that somehow we did not get our rubber boot put in correctly in our distributor hole. I don't know why we've done that. Quite difficult, but I got it. Let's give a little slack in them. And let's figure this out. Typically, your bolts that hold your plate down in your distributor are also the bolts that hold the clips on the side that hold your cap down. You see? So, what I want to experiment with here is what would happen if I were to turn them upside down, or turn them inside out where the nut is on the inside. I don't know though. That makes me nervous from the fact that maybe the pieces would drop inside the distributor. I don't like that idea, but I'm thinking that these slots... Oh. Alright, let's move this plate up just a second. What I want to see is, does the nut fit tightly? And it won't, because it's got that extra lock washer made to it. But I bet that if it was a regular nut, it would fit squarely in that bore and hold tightly. That would be what I would ideally like to see, I think, because it would hold it more tight instead of a round surface. Instead of a round surface, it would be gripping on a square surface. I think also maybe cleaning this up a little bit in here would be the ticket. Boy, it looks like it got hot right behind this igniter. I wonder if they had another one in here at one time and it burned up, because there's some definite boo-boos there. All right, well, I think I figured out what I want to do. And that is going to be, I'm going to put the nut in the inside, and then after I tighten everything down, I think I will put a drop of Loctite on it. That way I don't interrupt the ground, but I still, for peace of mind, have some way that is retaining the nut if it starts to back off. Because I don't know that Loctite is conductive enough to do what I want it to do. Now, I think we are, as soon as I get that started, instead of dropping it down inside the distributor, which would be a sad time, because then I'd probably have to take it all apart. At that point, I'd probably just pull the distributor out of mine and give him that one. All right. That is down in there very nicely and tightly, squarely. So now we will tighten these and see if that really draws it up. I wish I had gotten a shorter screwdriver, but oh yes, this is what I've envisioned. Because I'm able to tighten this. Ooh, that side did not do what I envisioned. Why not? Oh, no, buddy. I had you figured all out, and it was going to be so great. Why are you playing this nasty game? There. I just didn't have it down squarely. As long as our clamp things are fine. Now, I also envisioned doing this, just putting a slight drop on the end so that hopefully, if it would start to back out, that Loctite would stop it long enough that somebody could catch it. This is on there. This plate is rock solid now, which it was not before. Well, and then again, I start putting more dirt in than necessary. Let's scuff that up a little bit on the end. There we go. We'll put this back ever so gently. That snaps in nicely. This snaps in nicely. I'm going to put a little tape around these wires, I think, so that they're not just dangling. Every time I'd listen to it, I thought the timing was off, so I changed it a little bit, and I think it'll be for the better. Let's start it up again and see how it starts now. That's pretty good. We'll let it idle. Pick up some of my mess here. I think I may take these clamps off one at a time and clean them, because like I said, that igniter gets its ground through the distributor body, and basically that's through these clamps, so we want them clean. That may also help our overheating issue or running hot issue, because the timing was so off. It sounded like it was loaded down all the time. So I think I'm going to clean these clamps. Like I said, that'll give it better ground, and then we will do some more testing running. If it stays running, then we're going to call him and he can come back and get it. All right, we got everything done, so we're going to take it for a drive and see how we did. Time when it kind of hiccuped going down the road, it ain't missed a lick. So I think I do want to check out his fuel system. It's got a solid sediment bowl. I'd be curious to see how fast it flows out of there, but it seems to be keeping up, I mean, most of the time. So I may double check that though before we call it finished. Okay, I will probably end up replacing this sediment bowl, just because the handle is very, very loose, and I think it's about to break off. The bottom has already been home fixed with a bolt, so I think it may be time to make that better. I'm really curious to see if this has a standpipe in it that somebody's put in there to eliminate rust problems. So we're going to find that out here in just a bit. Okay. This is always the fun part, because you got to do the quick switch to get this out while putting the pipe plug in. I don't know how much gas it's really got left in it, but it had 7 or 8 inches of gas in it when I started, but I've drove it for 90 minutes at least so far, so it may not. I don't know. We'll get ready. Quick switch time. There we go. Feels kind of grainy in there, doesn't it? You can't feel, obviously, but alright, I didn't get in, well, I got a little rust out of it, but there's no standpipe, so I think I'll just, for no more than it costs, probably throw this in, the new one in, and be done with it. Okay, let's see if we can quick switch it back. We gotta get it around just a shade more. And we're probably gonna run into some problems. I think that's what I want. I have a 90-degree, well no. Boy, it runs in there good now. It runs better through this than it did through that other one when I took the bowl off. I have 2 90-degree fittings. I think I'll go with that route and just bend it. Make one 90-degree bend in my tube and be set. But that will dictate based on how easy I can get the other one in the carburetor. So I think we'll do that in first. Let's get rid of this loop. Test loop is what I would call it. And the fitting is loose, so that's good. That means it won't fight us. Well, I thought it wouldn't, but I guess if you turn it the wrong way, it will fight you, like I was doing. Now we will put our fitting in, our new fitting in, maybe. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll have a lot of shame and regret and wish that we had just left it be. But I kind of feel like when somebody gets you to do something, you should make it the best you can instead of just doing the absolute minimum. We don't want to replace things that don't absolutely have to, but in this case, it's awfully handy to be able to shut your fuel off and not have to worry about it. I like to be able to see the fuel coming out of the tank in the sediment bowl, so you know that you got good fuel flow there. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. This is something I would do if it was my own, so I would definitely put this new fuel line on. So let's go to the other end again, and then we'll start making us a line. Okay, let's see. Can we fix it? These fittings are kind of tricky because sometimes if you aren't paying attention, you'll end up collapsing them, and then they aren't any good. So you have to be careful when you're feeding them through to stay on the corners where the meat of the fitting is. Because if you go in the thin part, like right in the center, you're sure to knock it out around and you'll never have anything. So you got to be very patient which is not our strong suit here, but let's see what I want to do. Make it too big, get it on there. Okay, come on. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna get our tubing bender, figure out where we want to be. I don't know if it's noteworthy or not, but I'll let you watch me. I need to put a slight bend in this just to get it pointed the direction I want to go. So we'll go just a shade, not even really 45. Now it's kind of a game of mathematics. Can we get it to come out right? Well, we want to go. I'll put this on here like this. I'm not very good at this as far as getting things perfect, but I'm gonna say that right there is something we can work with. Now it's gonna be way too long, so we're gonna have to measure our length too. How are we gonna do that? Okay. Let's just pick a place. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Saw it off. See what we get. Almost there. Let's see here. There's a piece I cut off the other day. We'll use that nut. I don't have to cut the tag off of this one. That's a nice little end of tube we might need somewhere. So, we'll put that on there. My old tubing bender is getting pretty wore out. I've made many hundreds of brake lines, I think. So, let's get this in there. Something like that. Seems like it started. I hope. Once again, using the farmer's friend, the adjustable. Not at all the correct tool to use for this. Sure to round off your nuts. And that just sounds painful, so use with caution. Well, there's that. There. I think we got something now. Let's turn on the gas. Get some gas in it. Take our sounding bowl loose. Get a little air in there. There we go. Now we should be able to shut everything off with no leaks. Take the sediment bowl off with no leaks. You know, I think this is a much better setup. It's not going to melt, and it's kind of away from everything, so I think we're in business. We will get our tools put away. We'll start it up, and then we'll take it for another test rip, and if it doesn't die, I think we're good to go. All right, we'll give it a lap down the road, and if it runs good, I think we're ready to go. I think we left it better than we found it. But like any mechanical machine, it'll probably make me look stupid as soon as he comes and gets it. There was a one time going down the road, it seemed like it was starting to kind of cut out a little bit, but it came out of that and it's run fine ever since. So I'm wondering if sometimes maybe the float in the carburetor is sticking just a second. I don't know. Everything looks good and it runs excellent. I think that the best thing for it would be now to just be used, because it's sat for I don't know how long because they couldn't use it continuously. So when he puts it on the auger, I'd say it'll get a workout. That might do it some good. So I think we're in good shape. Let's see how it starts back up. Starts good. I think we're gonna go with that. I think he can try it out, and like anything, if it doesn't work, he can bring it back and I'll make it right. I mean, I won't beat him up on. See, look, we've already accumulated some junk in the sediment bowl, so maybe it was working through that whenever it hiccuped on the road. Maybe it was a solid piece of something and it was breaking that down, and then when it did, it got enough gas again. That's possible. That's why I like to be able to see right at the tank what's coming out, because later on down the line, why, that does help, but it's really nice to see if you're getting fuel right at the source. As always, if you enjoy the videos, give them a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my merch. I've got all kinds of Oliver themed stuff, even including now puzzles, which I think are really super cool. So check that out. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.